Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. How are you today? Hope you're all well. If you're new here, a warm welcome. If you're old here, welcome back. Today's video, again, it's a Supernatural Sunday where we talk about everything supernatural. The series, we are on series 1, episode 17 today. Hell House. And it was produced March the 30th, March the 30th, 2006. And it was about 40 minutes long. And yeah, before we get into that, first of all, little disclaimer. As you can see, I've had my hair cut. And over the next few weeks, you will see on a Thursday, I'm releasing a video every Thursday about what I've bought that week. Well, they are pre-recorded, and some of them will have where I've got still got my long hair. Only because I have to record them. I buy my DVDs, and there's days where I can't even get out of bed, and I don't like recording when I'm laid in bed because, as you know, a fat person, everything rises up, and it's like thing anyway. So I have to record it on my good days. So I record 4 or 5 in one day, but I don't want to release them like that because, you just don't. So I've got a lot of pre-recorded videos of parcels which I've ordered months ago, which I've only, which I wait until they all build up and I've pre-record the video. So just be aware, you will have videos come out recently now where, like I say, with my haircut, but you'll still have videos of with no hair, with long hair. So anyway, back to the scheduled viewing. That's what we're here for. Yeah, like I say, in Hell House, brilliant episode. Let's just go through the cast. Jared Padalecki and Jason Eccles as Sam and Dean Winchester, as normal, you know them. These two next people are regular to the seasons, and you'll see them again in different seasons, and they'll come up. They are like guest stars, regular guest stars. So yeah, that's Travis Webster, Wester, and AJ Buckley, and they play Harry and Ed. They're known as, in this one, hellhounds.com. But as we all know and get to know them, they are ghost facers. And it's just an ongoing joke throughout the seasons, throughout the episodes, throughout the seasons, that they keep popping up in odd places. Yeah, and they're basically supernatural chasers. They want to, they think they're like the bee's knees in, like, in finding the supernatural. So yeah, and then there's a lot here. All teenagers playing, all people playing teenagers, groups of teenagers. You'll know, I'm not going to name them all, but here's the name but a few. There's Shane Meir, Britt Irvin, Colby Johnson, Jonathan Johansson, Kyle Labine, Jason Griffith, to name but a few, and then Nicholas Harris is Mordecai. Yeah, Mordecai Murdoch. And Christia Bell is Dana. But the rest are all like teenagers, second in line, third in line, fourth in line, you know what I mean? So yeah, that is the cast. And it's, like I say, the episode is called Hellhounds. Let's get right back into it. It's set, you see a group Yeah, you see a group of teenagers going into an abandoned building, old wooden house, all derelict, you know, bare bones, and the symbols painted on the wall, like graffiti, like um, symbols and, oh, what's it called? Sigils. I couldn't read my own writing. There's sigils and symbols on the wall, going back years, you know, meant to look like going back years. Anyway, the story is that this old house is haunted by this Mordecai character, and what he'd done, he lures young girls into the house and kills them and strings them up in the root cellar underneath in the stalls in the basement. And they, you know, young kids dare each other to go down into the basement and get a jar of pickles or an old agent jar which are down there. So you'll see a group of teenagers go down, and the one lad is talking about this, and there's another lad who don't believe it, and he goes down. They all go down together. Anyway, lo and behold, they find this girl strung up, hanged, dead. So they all run out, and then it flashes back to Sam and Dean driving down the motorway, you know, any road, whatever you want to call it, going towards the area of where you know, this thing is happening. So yeah, Sam asks Dean. Sorry, Dean asks Sam, where did he find this this job? And he goes, I was you know, doing my research. And he's like, what research did you do? He says, I was perusing websites. And anyway, he goes, what website? And he says, hellhounds.com. He says, and Dean, Sam was like, yeah, it's hellhounds.com. Dean's going, Sam, you know, these websites are just teenagers, you know, making stories up. He says, no, this is a reputable website, blah, blah, blah. And there's loads of people mentioning it, you know, it's the same stories going around everywhere. So, yeah. So anyway, they turn up, and they go to the house, and there's police there, and like, just going, no, nothing to report, blah, blah, blah. And they go in, and they go down to the root cellar, and they find absolutely nothing. They put their thing down, and, you know, their little device to detect ghosts and apparitions and stuff like that, and that's showing nothing. And anyway, they decide to go and interview these, or find these teenagers who are thing. And Sam and Dean are like, Sam's like, where do we find these people, you know? And he goes, Dean goes, there's only one place these kids hang out, and that, like, basically it's the diner, the local diner. So they go and speak to these teenagers, and they're all saying the same thing but different, if you know what I mean. Oh yeah, it's a long-haired blonde girl, the redhead, whatever, but it's the same Mordecai hanging and all that, but the girl's different all the time. And but the one question they ask, who's told you about this thing? And they all mention this Jason character, James character, the local, he works at a record shop. Basically, everyone they ask, they all go, James, you know. And so he's played by Colby Johansson. So they all go, and they go to his shop, and they interview him, and he's like, don't know nothing about it, blah 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 blah. So, but he tells them the story, you know, blah blah blah, what happened, and anyway, they go in back onto, you know, they are driving past the house before they leave. Again, basically before they leave, because there's nothing. It's just like kids' rumours and all that. And the police are out there again, and there's a coroner's van, and but yeah, so they park up, and they go and ask what's happened, and there's a group of teenagers are outside, and the police say she's gone in there and hanged herself, but we know best. It was this Mordecai character, and they all go, and Sam and Dean is like, Sam and Dean's going, we checked it out, it was nothing, there was nothing to this story, so what's changed now? And but yeah, and so they go back in, and they notice all these sigils on the wall, these symbols which they didn't really focus on in the first place. And there's a symbol on there which Sam knows about, and there's a symbol on there which Dean knows about, but he can't figure out what the symbol is. And so anyway, Sam's does his normal, you know, searching, and you know, to see what, and finds out one of the symbols is from like a very old symbol for, you know, in a proper, which is used properly in witchcraft and, you know, resurrection and whatever. But yeah, so anyway, in the meantime, Dean works out he's figured out where the symbols come from. So the symbol is on the back of a record, basically. So they go back to the shop, and they question James, the shop owner, the shop kid again, and he's like crying, and he's going, it can't happen. And he goes, what do you mean? He says, we made the story up. It was my friend Dana who came back from college with all her archaeological and Theo something books, and we made the story up, and we painted all the symbols on the wall, knowing like one of the symbols was from this record, and some of them was from her books. And anyway, so some of the symbols are basically made, you know, are basically, as the more and more people talk about the story of Mordecai, it comes true. You know what I mean? The story becomes, because it's like it's worshipping basically, and it just basically comes true. So literally everybody wished this Mordecai real. So yeah, so Sam and Dean go back to the house, and to try and kill this Mordecai. And anyway, they go in, and all of a sudden they met with this Harry and Ed, and they scare each other to death basically. And yeah, they say, who are you, and who are you, and blah blah blah. And they say, we're from hellhounds.com. And Sam goes, oh, I know you two, you're the one who's you know, making it, doing the story about Mordecai. And they go, yeah. And then she says, oh, we know you two. And they go, do you? He says, yeah, you're the amateurs and we're the professionals. So Sam and Dean are like playing along, going, yeah, we're just coming in and seeing, you know, what's happening and all this. And all of a sudden, Mordecai shows up with an axe. It's not, I mean, it's not like the first time where he showed up and, you know, hung the girl, grabbed the girl and hung her up. So he's got this axe. So he's chopping away at these. Anyway, cut a long story short, Sam and Dean get the two lads out, and it turns out that they've changed the story. That it's not Mordecai. It wasn't. He didn't hang the girls. He chopped them up into pieces and buried them in the basement, and then he killed himself. So Sam and Dean say, oh, that's even worse. That's not. They look at each other and they're like, we've got to, because they know about this worship thing. They've worked it out. So they tell Harry and Ed, these ghost chasers, that both stories are wrong, and it was a gun, and a Smith & Wesson or whatever good type of gun, and he shot them and buried them in the basement, and then slit his wrists, and his weakness is getting shot with iron bullets. So they like, but whatever you do, don't put it on your website. So anyway, these two lads have run into their van to actually post it on the website. So Sam and Dean are in the restaurant and they've got the website up, and they've changed the story. So there's hundreds and hundreds of posts now talking about Mordecai, and that he shot his victims and then slit his wrists, and then so they shut the computer down and end up driving to the house, and there's police outside and they can't basically get there. So, and then guess who turns up? Hellhounds.com. The two lads turn up. So what they do, they distract the police onto the two lads, and the two lads run away. So the police chase after him, and they go in and to find Mordecai so they can shoot him and make him evaporate. So anyway, they go in, and sure enough, Mordecai turns up, but he's still got the axe. And so Sam and Dean are shooting him, and it's not working. It's not working at all. And anyway, eventually the police are going the wrong way, and the two lads turn back up. So Sam and Dean ask him, what happened? Your website, what happened? He says, we crashed, and only a few hundred people saw the post. So as before, it was getting hundreds of thousands of views. So Sam and Dean have figured, how can we get rid of them? And anyway, so they're all in the house, and he turns back up again with the axe, and basically he's got the two lads cornered, Harry and Ed, and they're like just about to get chopped. So Sam comes and gets Mordecai onto him and tells the two lads to run. But in the meantime, Dean is he's putting lighter fluid and petrol all around the house, and basically then shoots Mordecai where he's just evaporated, but he's still not dead. And then so Dean can get it past him. Anyway, sure enough, Mordecai's come back, and they all run out the house, and Dean chucks a lighter into the house, and it all sets on fire. And Sam goes to Dean, "What you do that for?" He says, "Well, if there's no house, there's no Mordecai, and basically, Sam goes, "Well, what if the legend changes and he comes back?" And he says, "We'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it." So yeah, anyway, that's near the end. So what happened is, they go back to the place they've been staying, and sure enough, that's Harry and Ed are packing up, saying, "We've got a record. We've got a deal." Yeah, sorry about that. That was someone at the door. Yeah, all it is basically Sam tells Dean that he phoned the guys up, Harry and Ed, and told them that he was a producer and wanted to take their story and make a film out of it, and that's why they're backing up. And Dean tells them he chucked a dead fish in the car, so it's going to be a smelly ride. So yeah, that's it. That's the episode ended. So yeah, if you like this sort of thing, please give me a thumbs up. If you really like this thing and consider sticking around, give me a subscribe. It's free, doesn't cost you anything, and it'll just notify you as and when I post a video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Bye bye for now.